Namaste, my witchlings, now that I'm in a little bit better shape. Welcome back to Die the Yoga Witch podcast. I am your host, Die the Yoga Witch, and I'm so incredibly happy to have you join me for another magical exploration of yoga, witchcraft, and some self-discovery on top. Huge shout out and thank you to all of my Patreon supporters. Your contributions are making this podcast possible, and I am so grateful. And if you would like to join our coven and receive that exclusive content that I put up at Patreon, head over to patreon.com/yogawithdylin to join. Okay. So, and there's the Patreon banner. All right, my friends. Oh, today we are diving into the beautiful and transformative practice of mindfulness. Yes, it's a buzzword currently, but it is so much more than just a trend. Mindfulness is a way of being, a way of connecting with ourselves and the world around us with greater presence and awareness. We will explore what mindfulness is, why it is beneficial, and how you can weave it into your own tapestry of your everyday life. So, starting with what is mindfulness and what is mindfulness not. So, let's clarify what mindfulness actually is. It is not about emptying your mind or achieving a state of blissful detachment. It is about paying attention to the present moment without judgment. It's about observing your thoughts, feelings, and sensations as they arise without getting carried away with them. We're going to discuss some common misconceptions about mindfulness and explore how it can be a powerful tool for navigating the challenges of modern life. And I am going to fix my necklace. Actually, I'm just going to take it off because it's not comfortable right now. So, mindfulness is not just a fluffy, feel-good practice. There is a growing body of scientific research that demonstrates its numerous benefits, from stress reduction to improved focus. We're going to delve into the science behind mindfulness, exploring its impact on the brain and the nervous system. We'll also touch on the spiritual aspects of it, exploring its roots in ancient traditions like Buddhism and how it can deepen our connection to ourselves and the divine. I have to say, in all honesty, mindfulness is why I am sitting here today. I was introduced to yoga through the mindfulness-based stress reduction course that John Kabat-Zinn founded at the University of Massachusetts. The Seattle VA did a session of that training about 16 years ago, and I was invited to take part. Absolutely loved what I was learning there. Fell in love with yoga through that, and through a long chain of events, I am here now because of that. So, let us explore some practical mindfulness techniques for everyday life. So, getting practical. I'm going to guide you guys through some simple yet powerful mindfulness techniques that you can incorporate into your daily routine. We'll start with a short guided breathing meditation to anchor us in the present moment. So, let's take a couple of minutes together and connect with our breath and find just a moment of calm. I'm sure we could all use it. Let's start by finding a comfortable position, either sitting upright with your spine tall but relaxed, or lying down if that feels better for you today. Allow your hands to rest gently in your lap or by your sides. If you feel comfortable doing so, gently close your eyes. If you prefer, you can just soften your gaze, looking downwards towards the floor, just a couple of feet in front of you. Take a brief moment to arrive in this space. Notice the surface beneath you, supporting you. Feel the air on your skin. Just acknowledge where you are, right here, right now. Let's take one deep cleansing breath together. Inhale fully through your nose and exhale slowly through your mouth, letting go of anything you don't need in this moment. Now, allow your breath to settle back into its own natural rhythm. Don't try to force it or change it in any way. Simply bring your awareness to the sensation of breathing. Notice where you feel the breath most distinctly. Is it the cool air entering your nostrils? Is it the gentle rise and fall of your chest? Or maybe it's the expansion and the softening of your belly. No right or wrong answer, just notice your experience. Follow the journey of one full breath, the inhale and the exhale. Stay with it. Your mind is naturally going to wander. That's what minds do. You might notice some thoughts, sounds, or sensations just kind of pulling your attention away. When this happens, gently acknowledge it without judgment, and then kindly guide your focus back to the sensation of your breath. Each time you return to your breath, you are strengthening your ability to be present. Just observing, breathing in and breathing out. Feeling the gentle, life-sustaining rhythm within you. Each breath is an anchor to this present moment. Allowing yourself these few moments just to be. Nothing to do, nowhere to go, just resting in the awareness of your breath. Now, notice the steady rhythm, the quiet space that exists between the inhale and the exhale. Notice that tiny little pause there. And as we bring this short meditation to a close, gently deepen your breath once more. Take a slightly fuller inhale and a longer, slower exhale. Start to bring a little bit of gentle awareness back to your body. Wiggle your fingers, maybe your toes, maybe just kind of gently rolling your shoulders or stretching in any way that feels good right now. Become aware of the room around you again, the sounds, the light behind your eyelids, And when you feel ready, slowly and gently open your eyes, bringing this sense of calm awareness with you back to the real world. Okay, now we can explore some mindful walking, mindful eating, and mindful observation. Mindful walking is a wonderful, amazing way to weave presence and awareness into your everyday life. It's about shifting from autopilot walking, where you're lost in thought, planning, or rehashing something, to being fully engaged with the experience of walking right here, right now. Those are 4 words you're going to hear a lot when it comes to mindfulness: right here, right now. So, practical tips to get started. Set an intention. Before you start, or even during the first few steps, gently remind yourself, for the next few minutes, I am going to practice mindful walking. This simple intention helps focus your mind. Leave the distractions behind, if humanly possible. Put your phone away, leave it behind, or just put it on silent. Mute it. Try walking without headphones or listening to podcasts for at least part of your walk. The goal here is to tune in to your direct experience, not out to external stimuli. Focus on the feeling of your feet. Bring your awareness to the soles of your feet. Notice the sensation as one foot lifts and moves through the air and then makes contact with the ground. Feel your heel connecting, your sole rolling forward, and your toes pushing off. You don't need to analyze it, just feel it. Note it. Engage your senses, one at a time or maybe even all at once. Starting with your sight. Really look at your surroundings without judgment. Notice colors, shapes, textures, the play of light and shadow. See the familiar with fresh eyes. Look at the cracks in the pavement, the veins on a leaf, the expressions on the faces of people you're passing, if possible. For me, I like to try to notice the lines on the road. Notice where they've kind of faded a little more, or, things like that. Now, sound. Tune into the soundscape. What do you hear as you walk? Birds, traffic, wind, your own footsteps, distant conversations, the dog barking inside the house you're walking by. Try to hear sounds without labeling them as good or bad, simply pure sound. Smells. What scent or scents are in the air? Are you smelling some damp earth after rain? Hello, Pacific Northwest, that's a common scent. Flowers, exhaust fumes, food cooking. We're coming into spring. People are going to be barbecuing. Breathe in and notice. Some touch and some feelings. Feel the air on your skin. Is it cool? Is it warm? Is it windy? Is it still? Or notice the feeling of your clothes moving across your body. The sun on your face. If you're walking the dog, feel the leash in your hand and the dog tugging on the leash. Notice your body in motion. Expand your awareness beyond just your feet. Feel the swing of your arms, the movement in your hips and your legs, the way your whole body works together to carry you forward. Connect with your breath. You don't need to change your breathing. Just notice it. Is it shallow or is it deep? Are you breathing fast or slow? Notice the subtle rise and fall of your chest or your belly as you walk. Sometimes coordinating your steps with your breath, like 3 steps to an inhale, 3 steps to an exhale, can be a helpful anchor. It works. Acknowledge your thoughts and then return. Your mind is gonna wander. That is completely normal. You'll start thinking about your to-do list, a conversation, or a worry or two that you've got. When you notice that your attention has wandered, gently acknowledge the thought, "Oh, thinking," without judgment, and then kindly guide your focus back to the physical sensations of walking or your senses. Walk at a natural pace. You don't necessarily have to walk super slow unless you want to. The key is awareness, not speed. Find a pace that feels comfortable and allows you to stay present. Start small. You don't need to walk for an hour. Try mindful walking for just 5-10 minutes. You can mindfully walk to your car or to the mailbox or during a dedicated walk. I keep mentioning walking dog because I'm a dog mom and I have a pupper who likes to take long walks, and I like to try to mindfully walk when I'm with him. So, dedicated walk. Be kind to yourself while you do this. This is a practice, not a performance. Some days it'll be easier than others. Just keep gently, emphasis on gently and kindly, bringing your attention back whenever you notice that it's wandered. Happens to me. Mindful walking turns a simple everyday activity into Try that again. Mindful walking turns a simple everyday activity into an opportunity for meditation, grounding, and connecting with the world around you and the sensations within you. Enjoy your journey. Mindful eating. Okay, mindful eating is a beautiful practice for reconnecting with your body's wisdom, truly savoring your food and bringing presence to a fundamental part of life. Everybody's got to eat. Now, it's not about dieting or restriction, just about awareness. So, here are some practical tips to help you cultivate mindful eating. Check in before you eat. Pause briefly before that first bite and ask yourself, am I truly physically hungry? Rate your hunger on a simple scale, like a 1 to 10, and this helps you connect with your body's actual needs versus eating out of habit, boredom, or emotional eating. Minimize some distractions, if at all possible. Eat away from screens, the TV, the computer, the phone, the tablet. Sit down at a table, even if you're eating by yourself, and create a calmer environment dedicated just to eating. Take a moment of gratitude. This is akin to saying grace before your meal. Briefly acknowledge the food in front of you. Consider the journey it took to reach your plate. The earth, the sun, the rain, the farmer. Thank you can shift your mindset. Engage your senses before you start eating. Look at your food. Really see it. Notice the colors, the shapes, the textures on your plate or your bowl. Smell it. Bring the food closer and inhale its aroma. What scents do you notice? Start out by serving smaller portions. You can always go back for more if you're still hungry, but starting with less encourages you to slow down and check in with your body for fullness cues rather than automatically cleaning your plate. How many of us grew up with the clean plate club? You know, if you don't eat all the food on your plate, you get shamed. Oh, there's starving children in Africa. They would love to have that food. Mind you, telling the person saying that they can ship it to Africa didn't usually go over well. Take smaller bites. It is so much easier to savor and notice the details of your food when your mouth isn't stuffed. Chew thoroughly. This is key. Aim to chew each mouthful longer than you normally would. Notice the changing texture and the release of the flavors. Chewing completely also aids your digestion. Put down your utensils between your bites. Literally, set your fork, spoon, or the food itself down on the plate between mouthfuls. This simple action creates a natural pause, preventing you from rushing into the next bite immediately. Take a breath during this pause. And savor the flavors and the textures. Really pay attention to the taste sensations. Are they sweet, sour, salty, or bitter? Notice the texture of the food. Is it crunchy, smooth, chewy, or soft? And is it just me, or did all of those just describe peanut butter? And does it change as you chew? Eat slowly and pause. Consciously slow down your eating pace. Pausing periodically during the meal allows your body time to register fullness signals, which can take about 20 minutes to reach your brain. Check in with yourself. How hungry are you now? Which leads us to notice fullness cues. Pay attention to your body's signals of satiety. Are you satiated? Satiated. I can say that word. I swear I can. Are you feeling comfortably full and satisfied? Aim to stop eating when you feel satisfied rather than stuffed. It takes practice to recognize these very subtle cues. And be non-judgmental. Notice any thoughts you have about the food. This is good or this is bad. I shouldn't eat this. Without judgment. Acknowledge the thought and bring your attention back to the sensory experience of eating. Also, be kind to yourself if you forget to eat mindfully. Again, it's a practice, not perfection. Again, we want to start small, baby steps in everything. Start small. Don't feel like you have to apply this to every meal or every snack right away. Try practicing with just the first 5 minutes of a meal, or just dedicate one meal a day to mindful eating. Mindful eating turns a routine activity into a rich sensory experience and a way to honor your body's needs. Enjoy exploring your food in this present aware way. My experience with the first time I did a mindful eating thing. Blue screen. Experiment, that's what I was looking for. Mindful eating experiment was with the mindfulness-based stress reduction. It was the very first thing we did, and we had a raisinette, chocolate-covered raisin. And we were told, first, observe it, look at it, smell it, look at it again, and then finally eat it, but don't bite right away. Just let it sit on the tongue and taste the chocolate. And then we were told to go ahead and chew, make note of the textures, the flavors. It was eye-opening. I have not eaten Raisinets the same way since. Now, mindful observation. It is a wonderful foundational mindfulness practice. This one is simply about consciously choosing to pay attention to something, anything really, using your senses without getting lost in judgment or analysis. It sounds simple, but it's not. But it does help anchor you in the present moment, and it can reveal the absolute richness in the most mundane, ordinary things. And it's something you can do anywhere, anytime. Practical tips. We're big on the practical tips. Choose your focus. Select something specific to observe. Are we counting blue cars? It can literally be anything. Simple objects: a cup, a pen, a stone, a piece of fruit, or a candle flame. Nature: a leaf, a flower, the bark of a tree, a cloud drifting by, raindrops on a window pane, or plenty of those here in the Pacific Northwest too, or even the way the moonlight or sunlight falls on the floor. A sensory experience: the warmth of your teacup, the feeling of your feet on the floor, the sound of the wind and the rain, or the scent of coffee brewing, the feel of your dog's fur under your fingers. Internal sensations: your breath, the feeling of tension in your shoulders, or the rhythm of your heartbeat. These are some things to observe. Again, we are going to set our intention, optional but very helpful. So mentally note, for the next little bit, I am going to mindfully observe whatever you're choosing to observe. This helps direct your attention. You can set a timer for 1, 3, 5 minutes if you like, or just informally sit there and observe. Engaging your senses is key. Explore your chosen focus using as many senses as possible. Your sight: really look at what you are observing. Notice the colors, the shapes, patterns, textures, and size. Observe the play of light and shadow. Notice those tiny details that you might usually overlook. Touch: if appropriate. We're going to repeat that one. If appropriate, feel it. What's the temperature? Is the texture smooth, rough, soft, hard? What's the weight? Listen. Sound: does your object make sound? Are there any sounds nearby that form the background to your observation? Listen without labeling, just receiving the vibrations, the sounds. Smell: does your object have a scent? Bring it closer if appropriate, or just notice the ambient smells around it. Another only if appropriate moment here: taste, such as you're observing a piece of fruit. For the love of all things holy, if you are observing a flame, please let's not try tasting the flame. I know a few people. Adopt a child's mind. Try to observe with fresh curiosity, like you've never encountered this thing before. Let go of those preconceived notions and labels. Oh, it's just a rock. I got a rock. Or the assumptions. And what do you actually perceive through your senses right this second. Again, we're noticing without judgment or storytelling. The goal here is direct sensory experience. Your mind is more than likely going to start offering commentary, labels, comparisons, memories, or even analyses. Ooh, this color's nice. Oh, this reminds me of, I should fix that crack right there. Notice these thoughts arise, acknowledge them without criticism, thinking or labeling, and gently guide your attention back to simply observing the sensory details. Observe the impermanence or the change. Even seemingly static objects have subtle qualities about them that might shift. Notice how the light changes, how your perception changes, or just notice the stillness of the object in this moment. If observing something dynamic like a cloud, a flame, or a wave in the ocean, notice its constant transformation. Distractions. Acknowledge them gently. If your mind wanders off completely, which, let's be honest, it probably will, or you maybe feel bored or restless, just notice that experience as well, without judging yourself. Acknowledge the distraction or feeling. Oh, hello, I'm bored. Bored now. And then gently redirect your focus back to your chosen object of observation. Again, we want to start small and be patient. Patience is a virtue. Not one I was born with, but it is a virtue. Begin with short periods, maybe just 1 minute, 60 seconds. Consistency is far more valuable than duration in the beginning. This is a skill that strengthens with practice. Most skills. So be patient and kind to yourself. Nobody is perfect right off the bat. Integrate this into your daily life. You don't always need formal practice time. Try mindfully observing while waiting in line, washing dishes, staring out the window, or during the first few sips of your morning coffee or tea. Mindful observation helps to train your attention. It grounds you in the present, and it can foster a much deeper appreciation for the intricate details of the world around you and within you. Enjoy exploring with curious eyes and an open mind. The absolute beauty of mindfulness is that it can be woven into any moment of your day so easily. Whether you're washing dishes, commuting to work, or spending time with your loved ones, you can bring a mindful awareness to that experience. Quit tapping on the desk, Di. We're going to discuss some creative ways to integrate mindfulness into your daily routine and how to cultivate a more mindful approach to life. We can also talk about the importance of self-compassion and how to be kind to yourself as you navigate the challenges of building a mindfulness practice. All right. Now, I want to hear from you guys. I know there's a few people listening to me and watching right now. So, what are your biggest challenges when it comes to practicing mindfulness? And what techniques have you guys found most helpful? I do have some of the more common questions that people ask about mindfulness, but I want to know if you guys have any questions first. Oh, goodness. Excuse me, I do not mean to be yawning in your ear. So, I'm going to take a quick sip and see if anybody has any questions today. Loud neighbors are definitely no fun. Loud neighbors are definitely a distraction. And, okay, I have brand new neighbors moving in next door. They have a dog. And we are not used to hearing a big dog next door or people out in the driveway. And these new neighbors like to stand at the car and chit-chat. So when I am in a room on that side of the house and I'm trying to be mindful and present and focused, and I hear them and I notice myself getting distracted, the way I deal with that one is, okay, neighbors talking or dog barking, we're good. And then I go back to what I'm focused on. Yes, easier said than done at the beginning, but I do have the advantage of having been practicing this for 15-ish years. And I still have my moments when I'm like, it's not working. One of the techniques, and I think I learned this one from the app Headspace, one of my favorite meditation apps, by the way. And it's, if you've ever played Frogger, imagine the thoughts or the distractions are, I'm going to say, the logs in the water portion of Frogger. Just your thoughts or the distractions are the logs floating in the water, and you're on the bank. And what you want to do is you want to just let those logs float by instead of hopping on and getting carried away by it. Please tell me I am making sense and not being confusing is all. Hoo-ha. Yep. I know that feeling, Stephen. I'm glad it's making sense. Hello, the emo. We are talking about mindfulness today. But yes, mindfulness. The biggest thing when you are starting out is just be gentle with yourself. Be nice to yourself. As I said, I've been doing this for a while and I still catch myself. I'll get distracted because my mindfulness is usually I focus on my breath to help me. I focus on my breath to help myself engage my parasympathetic nervous system so that I just kind of settle down and can drift off to sleep. And I will catch myself every now and then. Again, I'll get caught up in a daydream or a thought. And I am so mean to myself because typically it'll be, hey, dumbass, breath. And I've got to remind myself then, be kind. How do we deal with negative ideas when practicing mindfulness? Well, that's kind of along the lines of the, hey, dumbass, you're breathing here. We are trying to not be judgmental, and that tends to be where what the negative thoughts are, their judgments or something along those lines. When you catch yourself being negative, say, I am being negative. We are going to focus on whatever your object of focus is and not on the negative aspect. Sometimes for some people, it is helpful to, when you catch yourself as thinking something negative, replace it with a positive thought and then redirect to your focus object. It's not easy. Mindfulness sounds like it would be so easy, but oh, is it not? You guys do understand what mindfulness is exactly. I want to make sure that we have that. It's okay. But, and then mindfulness and meditation are, a lot of people tend to think they're the same thing. And they're similar. They are very closely related. But mindfulness is the quality of the awareness, and meditation is the formal practice to cultivate and strengthen the mindfulness. They're kind of. Meditation, like I said, is the formal practice to cultivate the strength of your mindfulness. I feel like I'm being confusing, but I know I'm not. But it is very similar to meditation. Honestly, I tend to use, like I was saying, a mindfulness practice as a meditation. Oftentimes, the way a lot of people are taught to meditate is to focus on their breath and just repeat in as you breathe in and out as you breathe out. And that actually is mindfulness. It's so intertwined and so interrelated. Now, mindfulness is something you could be practicing at any time, anywhere, like I was talking about with the mindful walking, the mindful eating, whereas meditation typically involves setting aside a specific time to practice and then focusing your attention. Another common question, and this one happens a lot with meditation as well. Do I need to stop my thoughts? No. No. Yes, mindfulness is basically to focus on being right here, right now. This is what I'm doing. I am not ruminating on the conversation I had 6 years ago where I embarrassed myself. And I'm also not worried about tomorrow or next week or what's in the bank account, or you are focused on what's in front of you in this moment. That is mindfulness. And the next layer of that is not only are you focused on what's right here, right now, you are non-judging. So, ooh, my leg hurts. That's bad. No, you're just going to go, okay, my leg hurts. Okay, we can live with this. We're here. I think that makes sense. I hope it makes sense. I am confusing. And then one last question that is a common question. How do I start practicing mindfulness? It's really simple. Informal practice. Choose an everyday activity. You're brushing your teeth, you're brushing your hair. Washing dishes is a favorite one. Pay full attention to the sensory experience of doing just that. You're washing dishes, so maybe this was a bad choice, but you're washing dishes, so you're going to focus on the temperature of the water, the solidness of the dish in your hand, the soap, the soap suds, the bubbles popping on your hand, mindful, and making sure it's clean. You're feeling the smoothness of the dish as it's clean. Things like that. Brushing your teeth is another popular one. As you're brushing, you're feeling the bristles of the toothbrush on your teeth, the foam of the toothpaste. That is mindfulness. Or formal practice, which again, we have meditation. Set aside 5 minutes. Just 5 minutes. Sit comfortably and either close your eyes if that's comfortable for you, or just kind of stare off into the near distance and bring just some attention, gentle attention, to your breath. And then when your mind wanders, it's going to, gently notice that it wandered off and nicely, kindly guide it back to your breath. There are tons of guided meditations available, apps, websites, podcasts. Like mine, I have Friday Night Guided Meditation that'll help you get started. Listening to podcasts or music when you're doing home stuff, you can be mindful while you're listening to music too. This is full disclosure, I am a musician. One of my favorite things to do when I'm doing some of my mindfulness is I will pick my all-time favorite album. It's a piano album, George Winston's December. And I will just sit back, close my eyes, and focus on the music and the volume, the crescendos, decrescendos, the speed, the notes, whether they're long flowing or staccato, and the like. Oops, went slightly technical. Sorry. But you can be mindful even while listening to music. Podcasts and trying to clean, not as good as me at being mindful, but that's when you mindfully listen to the podcast and you just kind of sit there and listen. I can't do that. When I'm listening to a podcast, I have to be doing something with my hands. That's when crocheting is handy. And then, how long? If you watch my daily draws, you'll see these cards, Namaste cards, and they regularly mention 8 minutes. That is because some scientists got their wild hair to figure out how long a person should meditate weekly to notice any benefit. And they came up with approximately half an hour a week. And if you divide 30 minutes by 7 days, you get round about 8 minutes. So, practice mindfulness and or meditation for 8 minutes a day. You'll start seeing benefits. I have never been able to do it for that short a time, because for me it's either 10 to 20 minutes or an hour, but it works. It is, and I have to say, mindfulness has literally been a lifesaver for me. I was going through the mindfulness-based stress reduction, and I had a decent commute to get there. And on one trip, I had borrowed my mother's vehicle. And I'm barely away from home on the freeway, and this car tries to merge into my lane with me there. I managed to avoid having an accident or anything like that. And prior to taking MBSR, I would have just lost my shit and just not been doing well, and would have still been rattled when I got to the VA. On that day, I was able to go, oh, well, that wasn't good. I'm okay. The van's okay. We're good, and keep going. In meditation, do you have to quiet all thoughts? No. Everybody thinks you do, but you don't. Again, what you do is when you notice that you're thinking, there is a practice called noting, where you realize that you're thinking and you go, oh, I'm thinking again. And then you redirect back to the meditation and you keep going. And you do this as often as you have to. When I started meditating, oh my God, I think I was having to note and come back to my thoughts every 3 to 5 seconds. I am ADHD and it never stops. Now, and again, I have been meditating for a long time, I can actually say that when I go to formally meditate, the only thing I hear is the tinnitus in my ears. Oh, well, the tinnitus and the extra people up here, but it's kind of impressive. But again, I have been meditating for a very long time, and it's taken a lot of practice to get there. So, anybody have any other questions? This is fun for me. I love teaching people about my favorite things. Oh, and Emo, if you're still here, you asked how my day was. My day has actually been pretty decent. Subliminals, as in subliminal messaging, it works better for some people than others. I honestly prefer binaural beats for things like that. But if it works, I just don't like the idea of them being used for nefarious purposes. And it kind of, unfortunately, because I was born in the late 70s, I grew up in the 80s in the height of satanic panic here in the States. Subliminals flashes me back to when, as an adult and a parent now, it makes me laugh so hard. Back to when parents thought that there were subliminal messages hidden in heavy metal rock. Because, oh, but if you play the record backwards, you get hidden messages. No, you just get gobbledygook. So, yes, there is proof that subliminal messaging works. But, it's not easy to do. But hey, to me, subliminal messaging is akin to hypnosis. Exactly. Yep. Kiss was the big one too. They tried to say the Beatles were doing it. And I'm thinking, bitch, you were the one listening to the Beatles as a teenager. Anyway, but, but it reminds me very much of hypnosis. And, there are some people who cannot be hypnotized at all. I cannot be hypnotized. I have had a licensed hypnotist try to hypnotize me, and it does not work. And he told me that because of that, chances are subliminals wouldn't work on me either. It's great. My son can't be either. So, but yes, mantras and affirmations are a type of hypnosis. Also, little tidbit about hypnosis. You cannot be hypnotized to do something that you would not normally do. So the old stories of people being hypnotized and made to quack like a duck or bark like a dog might not happen. Probably won't happen. Okay. Any other questions? I like answering questions. Makes me feel smart. Oh, wow. Hey, we've actually been at this for an hour. How about them apples, guys? Y'all? Okay. Ooh, here's another common question. What if I feel uncomfortable emotions? Or what if I fall asleep during the practice? Okay. Mindfulness involves paying attention to your present experience which does sometimes include difficult feelings. The practice here is to try and meet these feelings with acceptance and curiosity rather than resisting or judging them. If it feels overwhelming, it is quite alright and perfectly okay to stop or shift your focus to something neutral like the soles of your feet or your breath. Again, be gentle with yourself. And if you fall asleep, okay, another incredibly common thing, especially if you're tired or you practice lying down. It could also be a big sign that you just need more sleep. If you're falling asleep regularly, then maybe you can try sitting more upright, keeping your eyes open slightly, or practicing at a different time of day when you're more awake, more alert. Again, if it happens, notice when you wake up without judgment and continue on. So, mindfulness. Let's see, today is Thursday. Tomorrow, and this will be in my outro, tomorrow we have guided meditation, which will also be on working mindfulness into your everyday life. And then Saturday, getting bored while meditating is not uncommon. Do you try guided meditation or you just try to sit there and meditate? The reason I ask is my own personal experience. I do far better with guided meditation. If I'm just laying there with nothing and I'm like, okay, I'm going to meditate now, I'll lay there because I usually meditate laying down. I've got some chronic pain issues. Yep. My mind wanders, and I'm glad you're here too, Mary. My mind will wander, and that again, I have to go, hey, Di, we're meditating here, or we're focusing on the breath here. So let's go back to the breath. We're breathing in, we're breathing out. And then, like I said, tomorrow night, we are doing Friday night guided meditation. Saturday, at some point in the 24 hours, I do not know right off right now, this week's yoga class will be shared on the Patreon. So, pop over and join the Patreon, which again is patreon.com/yogawithdylin. And again, we are focusing on mindfulness. Well, that worked wonderfully. Sorry. But we are still focusing on mindfulness, and off the top of my head, I cannot remember what next week's theme is, but hop in next week. Because, yeah. I am an autistic ADHD witch. I will yammer and babble at you guys and meander. That's what Sundays are for. That's when I just sit here and babble at you guys about whatever I'm thinking about. Gets entertaining. Ooh, next week we are aligning our chakras with the Earth's rhythm. That one's going to be fun. You are most welcome, Mary. It's an interesting spelling of Mary. Am I pronouncing it correctly, too? Uh-oh. All right. All right, my loves. I am going to go ahead and wrap this up. You are most welcome, Stephen. I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up and say thank you guys very much. I absolutely am so grateful. Hopefully, I have answered your questions and my answers have clarified things. Mindfulness is very much a journey of discovery, and it is best approached with patience and kindness towards yourself. Excuse me. So I thank you, my witchlings, for joining me on our mindful journey today. remember, I'm going to say it again and again, mindfulness is a practice, not a destination. Be patient with yourself, embrace the process, and enjoy the transformative power of presence in your everyday life. Don't forget, find me on social media. You'll see my ats at the end of the outro. Share your... Oh yeah, I am Die the Yoga Witch everywhere. Derp. See, blue screen of death brain. Connect with me on socials. Let me know what you guys have experienced with this. And if you feel the call to join the coven, hop on over to patreon.com/yogawithdylin. Until next time, my darling witchlings. Namaste. And go out there and spread love, spread joy, and spread kindness. There's so much darkness out there right now. Can we please be little lights for those who need it? And then remember to make sure your loved ones, be they human, feathered, scaly, or furry, know that you love them beyond words. You do not know how long you have with them, and I can tell you from experience that 2 a.m. phone call sucks. Also, remember that you yourself are loved, you are wanted, you are needed, and you genuinely have a purpose here. I love you guys all, and I will see you next time. Have a good one. Your subscription ensures you never miss a moment of mystical insight, especially if you ring that bell. For a deeper dive into exclusive content, behind-the-scenes glimpses, bonus blog posts, monthly rituals, and my weekly yoga classes, consider popping over to Patreon and joining the coven there. If you're feeling particularly generous, a virtual coffee is always appreciated. This Gen X witch, raised on 80s vibes, thrives on caffeine and a dash of well-placed sarcasm. Are you seeking personalized guidance? Well, in that case, visit yogawithdylin.com to schedule a one-on-one yoga session where we can work together to restore balance and alignment to your mind, body, and spirit. I'm honored to craft meaningful rituals and services for all life's milestones. House blessings, cleansings, spiritual life coaching, and personalized tarot and pendulum readings are also available. Check out those offerings at dietheyogawitch.com. Don't miss out on your daily doses of divination. Tune in tomorrow for another episode, Monday through Saturday, same bat time, same bat channel, 1:30 p.m. Pacific time. And there's even more enchantment to weave into your week. Join me for our weekly rituals. Sundays, let's all gather around the cauldron for coffee and cues with Die the Yoga Witch at 1:30 p.m. Pacific time on Sundays. Bring your favorite brew and we'll delve into the mystical and the everyday, answering your questions and sharing the witchy wisdom I've gathered over the last 3 decades. Thursdays, tune into Die the Yoga Witch podcast for a fusion of yoga and witchcraft designed to inspire and uplift. Friday and Saturday evenings at 8:30 p.m. Seattle time, we offer some unique experiences. Fridays are for relaxation and interconnection. We zen our way into the weekend and unwind with guided meditation or yoga nidra asana, tapping into your inner magic and bringing that magical life into your yoga practice. Saturday evenings, brace yourself for Bitch and Witch Angry Veteran Rants. I will be tackling current events that spark my passionate opinions, offering perspectives and suggestions for positive change.